Unlike adult instruction methods used in school or even in university, corporate training focuses more on the use of training games and other interactive strategies rather than just the lecture method. Participants in corporate training workshops and seminars are experienced and knowledgeable, even specialized, in their field. So you have very knowledgeable participants who may actually know much more about their subject than you do. They're professionals who are committed to continuously upgrading their work skills and knowledge base, as well as to lifelong learning, but who may take offense or become bored if lectured to. All right, I mean, one of the definitions of a professional is somebody who continuously upgrades their knowledge and skills. You probably will not want to go to a doctor who passed out in 1985 and had never read a medical journal since. I mean, you don't find too many of those. You have a lot of good doctors who sort of keep up, and now I believe recent rules require doctors to go through a brief in-service training every year, a number of hours, and in order to keep their license. We live in an era of exploding information where the half-life or the useful shelf life of most knowledge is around, at that time, 7 years ago, we calculated, was about 6 years. I'm told that that has compressed somewhat. Some figures I keep hearing are about 3 years now for some technical topics, including in IT, which has some very interesting implications. In fact, our earlier speaker also alluded to that point. If you enter an engineering college, by the time you graduate, the technology has shifted. Yeah? If you're in IT, you need to constantly be learning because your whole technology platform is shifting from under your feet. Every 9 months. So you have to be a continuous learner in order to be effective at coding. So one of the things that I tell my IT friends is, to develop meta skills that are useful, like software project management. The learnings there do not change much over time, but you can actually move up in management if you learn those important skills and can lead a project team effectively. In this context, what value addition can corporate training interventions offer? If you were to send a few people to a training course, you'll find that they often report difficulty integrating their new knowledge and skills into their work. This is a very common problem. Because the rest of their team isn't in sync with the new mindset and skills that they have picked up. So typically what you do, if you send people to training from your organization, you'll send 1 or 2. You'll spend a day or 2. You can't really change behaviors by Monday morning by attending a 2-day workshop. It takes about 21 days to change a habit. Yeah. So how effective is training? And the whole issue of return on investment in training then comes up. Incidentally, I've written an article on the SHRM website. It's posted on the need to relook at our models for evaluating the return on investment in training. My belief is that team learning is where our comparative advantage is. When teams reflect on their work, share experiences, solve problems, and learn together, the dynamic of the workplace changes and a synergy is created that constitutes the building blocks of a learning organization. I found this from my own training experience. When I train entire teams together and they reflect on the issues that are burning for them, some very interesting things happen. I found this in every single case. On the other hand, if every department nominates 1 or 2 people and we conduct a great workshop, the outcomes are not as effective.
Mohammed, if I will just add, in my experience, what has really worked is actually having the manager of the team also participate.
I fully agree.
Because if you are
I fully agree.
trying to change behavior and your boss doesn't support it, it just doesn't work.
Absolutely.